Welcome to another episode of The Weekend with Candor Beach. So today we've got for you iPhones, AQI, and a 70-hour work week. So without further ado, Sailesh, your take on the AQI problem in Delhi.
Yeah, we have this huge pollution problem in Delhi, right? So this time around the year, you have this huge, the pollution comes up, AQI, air quality index goes up to between 400 to 600, which
Damn.
is almost breathable. You cannot even breathe. You need like a mask, huge painter's mask on your face.
You
I
know,
mean,
just to put it into comparison, countries like or cities like Paris or San Francisco, their air quality is at what, about 2030?
2030, yes.
Right.
So, this really happens because of stubble burning. In North India, they have this concept called once the harvest is done, they'll actually burn the entire farmland, which will actually rejuvenate the fertility of the farmland, which causes a lot of pollution. They do it all across the state, and all that pollution comes a little bit south towards Delhi,
Mm-hmm.
and entire Delhi gets polluted.
Right. Plus,
So
particularly around this time, you also have colder weather settling in, so
yeah,
you have heavier
smog.
air. Yeah, you have
So
smog.
the
You have
fog
heavier
gets
air, and
yeah,
it's incredibly hard to breathe. Delhi around the like during COVID, there were talks about how the air got breathable again, right? But Delhi has
yeah,
notoriously been bad in terms of air quality. Another city that comes to mind is Beijing. Apparently, like
mm,
back in the day, China's AQI around Beijing was horrible, but over the years, China implemented things like uh, carbon capture implements. Like they built this
yeah,
tower that purified air. They recruited algae to combat climate change again, like again algae that
yeah.
traps that traps carbon
Carbon dioxide, yeah,
dioxide. They also implemented policies like the ones that are enforced in Delhi right now, the alternate
yeah,
license policy, like where odd number cars go in and on a certain day, and even number car license plates go in on another day. This over time did see the climate in particularly the air quality in Beijing improve. Like it's gotten to a point where
yeah,
it's breathable. I don't know what's stopping Delhi. I just don't get it.
yeah. It's just sad for the people who stay there, man. But anyways, that is one of the major topics. So let's talk about the major topic, the Tata trying
The
going to
major Apple bit.
manufacture iPhones. Yeah, Tata manufacturing iPhones in India. Tata bought the Windstrom factory, and they are in progress to start manufacturing iPhones within 2 years from now.
So here's a question: do you think that's a little too late? Like we talked about reaching the end of the innovation cycle, like reaching
Yeah,
maturity amongst smartphones. So if you've gotten to that point, you're going to see more variables come in. Like last week, we talked about the Humane AI pin. We talked
mm,
about the Vision Pro coming out and VR lenses, VR headsets uh, taking the forefront. So if you're seeing a shift in devices, do you think it's too little, too late?
So I would argue against that, because if you bring in the technology to manufacture iPhone, you would also have to bring in eventually going to manufacture the Vision Pro in India. Why not manufacture the wearables in India? The factory going to be the same place. So I would say if you bring in the technology to manufacture the phones, this is the segue towards manufacturing most other products.
Fair,
So
fair enough.
yeah, so that is
That's
exciting
topic
news.
number two.
So
That's topic number two. Now on
yeah,
to 70 hours a week.
the
Narayana
culture
Murthy.
topic, right?
Yeah,
Oh
Narayana
man, this is
Murthy. He was quoted talking about how the youth in India ought to work 70 hours a week so that they can like progress. So he said that, and let me quote him: India's work productivity is one of the lowest in the world. This was when he was speaking to former Infosys CFO Mohandas Pai for a podcast.
Yeah.
So productivity, one of the lowest in the world. So therefore, my request is that our youngsters must say, this is my country. I'd like to work 70 hours a week. And his argument for this is that the Germans and the Japanese after the Second World War did exactly this for a few years. They worked extra hours for a certain number of years, and that is why they've progressed to where they have. What are your thoughts there?
So first of all, let's give a little intro. Narayana Murthy is actually the CEO and the founder of Infosys. And secondly, do you remember the 4-Hour Workweek book? So comparing to that, so what he means is like the
How much does 70
productivity
hours
of
translate to?
if you pick 6 days a week as work weeks, it's about like 11 hours per day.
So more than
So
the usual workday already with an extra day.
yeah.
Wow.
So if you look at Americans, they have this work day, right? 9 to 5,
We have 9
5
to
days a week.
6. We have like 9,
Yeah.
9 to
So
6, 10 to 7.
9 to 6, 6 days a week. India has 9 to 6, 6 days a week already. So we do 6 days a week, right? So except
So that's
you
8
know,
hours of
banking sector.
productivity.
Yeah.
That's 8 hours of productivity over 5 days. That's 40 hours.
Mhm.
He's talking about upping it to 70.
It's almost 90% increment.
Yeah, so what does
So
that look like? 80%. 8
yeah,
times 4,
80%.
32. Closer to 8.
I mean, it's good for thought, but I don't know how practical it is. I don't know how much of people are going to stretch, you know?
I will make the following argument that people are inherently looking at how they can make their own lives easier. This is euphemism for laziness, which I think is Narayana Murthy's argument to begin with. But if you ask me to work for 70 hours and I'm contractually obligated to do that, how many hours of productivity are you going to expect from me? I might be there like filling a form or giving you attendance for 70 hours a week, but it's hard to be productive for that long.
Or core hours, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not.
It,
No human can be. It's extremely hard, I guess.
Elon Musk.
I mean, there are exceptions. I'm
You'd have
talking
to-
about just the general.
You'd have to match passion with what you're doing. Like if you're not passionate
Yeah.
about what you're doing, and that I think is the significant group of the workforce, I don't see them. I don't see 70 hours making any sense. Like if anything, you want them to be more productive. You want to decrease the total number of hours, not increase it.
Yeah. So, what about some minor topics? What do you got?
Do you remember the Joker from Batman, like the Dark Knight specifically?
Yeah.
So there was that hospital scene where he walks up to, like, Heath Ledger walks up to, shouldn't say Heath Ledger, the Joker walks up to Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
And then he says that you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So that's a quote to introduce the first topic that we have here. Wokeism takes a hit as Malala and Greta Thunberg weigh in on the Gaza conflict. Apparently, they were criticized initially, like Malala was criticized initially for not speaking up on the Israel-Palestine conflict. And when she did, she was vilified for not making a strong enough statement.
Yeah, it's like queers for Palestine, and it's actually very similar to chickens for KFC. You know, there was a meme like that. So, yeah, I mean, it goes out the door, right? So,
I think it boils down to relevance, and at a certain point in time, they are no longer. I mean, they have influence, but they aren't relevant enough, or well, maybe not connected strongly enough with today's trends.
reality.
Yeah, today's reality makes more sense. All right, moving on. Crypto.
So, yeah, we have Sam Bankman-Fried charged guilty on all counts. I think 7 counts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
What does that
which
mean for
is,
him?
and I think he's going to be facing 150 years in prison. So,
Oh,
which is,
that's not much.
yeah. So he might die there. So, but the thing is, I'm 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 glad this actually came out this way, and he didn't get like a slap on the wrist, because he had all these. He was funding all these political action committees. So on both sides of the aisle,
Mm.
Democrats and Republicans. So I would say it's a good win for a lot of people, but they have to do a lot more to recover the fund, the money. Right, there's a lot of money which is lost
I think it's lost
for the
forever,
investors.
honestly. There
Yeah.
are instances where you just need to write things off. I make this argument because a significant part of what runs finances today is borrowing from the future. And now
Mm,
when you have an institution that was worth $30 billion disappear, how are you going to recover that? What are you going to do to
yeah.
recover that?
I still remember that day at the fall, man. It went to zero.
Damn.
The coin, right? That was crazy. Yep. Anyways, that was I think
That's a
that
wrap.
was our major topics. Yeah. So
All right, well,
I'm glad you guys enjoyed. So
how do you know they enjoyed? Like, they'd have to like, comment, and
just
subscribe.
just yeah, definitely.
Quick plug in.
That's what I was getting at.
Right. All right, guys. Thank you so
Well,
much. See you on the
thank
next
you.
one.